Welcome to AmityCast. My name is Ellis.
Yeah, I'm Matthew.
And we're back for this. What do you mean we're not? We're literally back. But just for this week. There won't be an episode next week for our diehard fans out there.
Yeah,
just saying.
Going away.
No, Matthew is going to be gone.
For a week.
Matthew's going to be on a little vacation, so yeah.
Some complications.
But then the following
Matthew, tell him why you're going on vacation.
The following week, we're going to have a lot to talk about, so that'll be exciting.
Don't know what.
I do know why, actually.
You just kept...
Then why are you going?
It's a family vacation.
But we asked you earlier and you said you didn't know.
Well, it's implied that my family's going. It's a family vacation.
Well, okay, that's not the reason. That's just the event. That's like this specific type of vacation. Anyway.
This guy doesn't know things.
We asked you and you said no.
This week we're going to be talking about updated on Loki once again, and we're going to be talking about A Quiet Place Part 2. I know it's been out for a little bit now, but we both have now seen it. Also probably talk about Rick and Morty a little bit. We're a few episodes into Season 5, and it's been enjoyable so far. So that's the game plan today.
Quiet Place 2 was a little quiet.
It was a lot louder than the first one.
Yeah, it's because there's more people that won't shut up. It's not.
Well, so Loki, episode 5, thoughts?
It was pretty good. When we were watching it, there was a lot of talking, like outside of it, so I couldn't focus on some parts.
Right.
But it was pretty good. I think it was probably better than the last two, for sure.
Yeah, definitely better than 3. I mean, I think I like it better than 4.
Like the movie?
4?
Yeah, the movie Thor.
It's almost like Thor and 4 are different.
Slightly.
But I enjoyed it quite a bit. I think they had a lot of fun with all the Loki variants or whatever that were all there. Like the president.
That was pretty cool. The kid Loki, that line was just like, "Oh yeah, I killed Thor." By the way.
Yeah, it's like okay, but Thor is like what?
I don't remember who the Black Loki is. I know he's based off something in the comics, but like, he wasn't black, so it's like a weird like changing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, like there's classic Loki, which is like the original.
He was
Loki
actually
design.
really cool.
Yeah, he was a fun character. I think they executed him pretty well.
I didn't expect him to just kind of like die.
Right.
Yeah.
We saw more between.
Also, Alligator Loki. That's actually pretty good. The comedic stuff of that.
Yeah.
There was even a Throg reference.
Yeah, which I didn't notice while actually watching.
Which the Alligator Loki makes sense since like Lily and Thor Ragnarok, like, oh yeah, Loki turned to a snake.
Right. Yeah. There's also the Thanos copter just chilling.
There's a few references. There's a few ships. Like I think Ronan's ship from Guardians of the Galaxy is like in the background in one shot. There's like a helicarrier. There's like the Avengers Tower.
Right.
There's also a Yellow Jacket reference from Ant-Man.
Oh yeah.
Like his helmet's just like around there, which is kind of weird since like it's such a terrible film. I don't know.
Yeah, there were a lot of fun references. I think they were like having a lot of fun tying it with like other parts of the universe and stuff.
Yeah.
Narrative wise,
Owen Wilson's back.
It's still Owen Wilson. Thank God, because he's my favorite character. It's great to see him again. It was really good.
Not much though.
Well, I mean, he's there.
Hopefully he's more in the finale. I don't really know where he went because like, did he go through like a door?
I don't know.
I don't know how that appeared. And like, why didn't they just go through that? But I guess they were trying to find the actual timekeepers, and he was trying to destroy the TVA. But it's definitely gonna be an interesting finale. I hope it's a really long one.
Yeah, I hope the finale is like longer, so
because it literally ends with like the biggest tease like probably ever.
Right. Yeah.
And there's no post-credit scene, for some reason.
Yeah, which was like frustrating. I mean, it was just, but like that just shows how good of a cliffhanger it is. I'm really excited to see where the finale goes. I hope the finale, because like they're planning on a season 2, isn't like a cliffhanger. I hope they're not like, oh, we'll just.
I feel like it's gonna lead very like well into this next set of few films.
Yeah, it's gonna help a lot with Marvel Phase 4. That's been evident from the beginning.
And really, just it's shown a lot of character development with Loki, and it's been like very well done.
Yeah,
where he literally like even says like to Sylvie now, because that's like her name now.
Yeah.
He literally like even says like the type of person he is, and he's just kind of like, I'm not like that anymore. I'm a completely different person.
Right. Which it's I think it's been really good because the show has been a great way of like progressing the arc.
Also really good at been showing like actually what Loki's powers are.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, showcasing what his abilities, which is really cool. But I like how Loki's development has seemed like, multiple films worth of like how the MCU was, but it's just been in this series, and they've done a good job with that because of everything that he's gone through.
Your series.
I don't know, like, canonically how much time has passed throughout the show, and then, like, at the TVA it's all weird or whatever.
And
but
wasn't classic Loki's backstory that, like, he was... When Thanos, like, came, he didn't try to kill Thanos, he just kind of hid away.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting, actually.
Right.
I don't know how that costume became a thing, but, like, in that universe, but yeah.
Right. I don't know. It's just...
I don't know if Tom Hiddleston would look like that old, but... And the present Loki stuff was cool, except the fact that like it was showed in like every single still and every single trailer, and it was just kind of like a minute joke.
Right. I mean, overall, there was a lot of interesting stuff, a lot of fun stuff. I really enjoyed it. It got me really hyped for the finale.
It's a pretty good setup. They've really been teasing this timekeeper and like who created TVA for like a really long time, so like it better be pretty good.
Yeah, I'm hoping for like a really strong reveal. Based on the trajectory that the show has been on, I think it can be really strong.
Who's texting you? Okay.
But it seems like it'll be good.
Turn on notification.
Every time it's like so loud.
Like it goes in the red. Gamer 2. I'm just kidding.
It wouldn't be really relevant to talk about the Gamera trilogy. I'm not gonna lie.
Next week. Sponsored by Samsung.
Big smile there. I'm sorry.
Thank God.
Your voice cracked.
No, it didn't.
God.
That wasn't a voice.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
The Ridge Wallet. If Loki had a Ridge Wallet, do you think he would be a variant?
I think that it wouldn't make sense.
Does he need a wallet?
Because why would he spend $100 on a stupid wallet?
Actually, it was like made 90.
I want to go get a new wallet, but I haven't been out to the mall for a while.
Oh, I have this cool website you should go to.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Hashtag.
If Rich sponsored us, oh my god.
I would be upset.
I think you guys
I would rather have a
will
better
too.
sponsor.
We have like
Nah,
maybe
no.
a dozen subs.
We have like 11 subscribers, okay?
It might have gone.
Get on our
You
level.
haven't even made it to a dozen yet.
It might have. I haven't checked. Like, if he has.
I saw a thing earlier that was like, this guy got 1 million views on a video and he saw the revenue for it and it was like 89 cents they got for his 1 million viewed video.
YouTube's great. It's like to upload every day. But like, let's go back to the show.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Do you like this, Sylvie?
Sylvie's character is really good. They've had to pack a lot of character.
Really good acting. Really
yeah,
good.
a great performance. They've
And,
had
like, the
to.
romance has been really weird, but like,
Red 99 smiled at me. Oh, also it's Callie smiled at me too.
It's like weird how like whatever like this whole like I don't know
I don't
romance.
know where this is gonna go.
Yeah, I don't know what their relationship
I'm
is.
assuming this will
supposed to
stay
emulate.
in the show, not like go in the movies or anything.
Yeah, I don't think so. But the performance has been really strong. They've had to pack a lot of character into a short period of time, and they've done a good job with that. Like with Loki, he's already established through all the films, but with Sylvie, it's a bit different. So, they've done a good job with it though. And same with Mobius, his character is really like he's not like as established of like a true fleshed out character, but he's been a great job as like a foil.
Like that
on
whole
the show.
hug they share was like actually pretty like maybe not like super emotional, but like it really like it hit
I mean,
you.
I mean, with the chemistry that we've seen from them throughout the entire series, I mean, I really enjoyed that. It continues to strike on the emotional beats pretty well. It's a good show. I really enjoy it.
Let me see.
But yeah, I'm really excited for episode 6. Next time we upload, we're definitely gonna be talking about that one quite a bit. So just talk about the whole series in general. I'm really excited to see the overall concluding arc. They've done a great job so far. I really do think so.
There's a lot of green in the show. I don't feel that.
Almost like a Loki show.
Yeah, it's really weird though, because like at the end of this, like they really like, they get rid of a lot of the variant Lokis that like they tease like in the shot here, but then like the Kid Loki's just like, okay, I'm just gonna stay here, bye.
Yeah.
And like since Kid Loki's actually a young Avenger, he's probably gonna be in like other stuff at some point, because like he's part of like the new Avengers in the comics.
Right.
I don't know what happens gonna happen to Alligator Loki. Alligator Loki. I hope he's okay.
I hope so too. He's my favorite character.
He has a lot of good lines.
Yeah, no, I mean, his dialogue is just impeccable and delivered incredibly by the CGI.
But yeah, I really love like this like void world that they set up. It makes perfect sense for the TVA. Just kind of send what they don't want there and just kind of let it be. And like whatever that weird monster was, they don't really explain it too much. They just kind of say like it's a shark. It's an alive. It's just gonna eat you.
Yeah, I don't know. That was really weird.
Like how it's guarding the timekeepers is like I don't know.
I don't really see like they had to, so they went to like enchant the alive.
It just seems like there's multiple layers to find out this timekeeper stuff. It really reminds me of that Rick and Morty episode from like season 4, like episode 6, where like it just kept constantly breaking layers over and over.
Oh yeah.
To a certain point, which is like there's no way this can be like satisfying anymore. But
right, it's like what, and like the whole thing with like, I mean, it was cool seeing like more of Loki's growth, kind of like symbolized with him being able to enchant with Sylvie. It like symbolizes their relationship and also symbolizes his growth throughout the series.
It's kind of weird though, because there was one inconsistency that was pointed out. Because in Ragnarok, he does unlock Valkyrie's memories.
Yeah.
But then this one, like, it's a new thing for him.
Right.
Maybe it's because she interacts with him, but I don't know.
I don't really know.
I can accept inconsistencies for like a 24 film, like for a 4 show universe.
A few minor inconsistencies is fine. Overall, I've really enjoyed it. Yeah, we'll probably just talk more about the entire series when we talk about the finale.
No, we won't. I'm just kidding. We're just gonna skip the finale and not talk about it.
Well, we've talked about it pretty much every episode.
Yeah, I know.
So we should probably do just for consistency's sake.
Yeah, there's not too much for this one because it's still like it's a bit of setup and it's just like kind of like not like a one-off, but like it's very much just focused on this part.
Right.
And like I don't know how much like these characters really aren't gonna like have a bearing on the final episode. I feel.
Yeah.
Except like Sylvie and Loki, that's his name. And then there was good stuff with I think it's Ravonna, like the actual villain.
Ravonna, yeah.
It's like they almost like team up and then like they don't, and like it's just.
And like she was
it's weird stuff because it seems like she doesn't even know who's like leading this whole thing.
Right, it's like her character is like,
I thought
really, like, all over the place.
I thought she knew.
Right, it's kind of like implied throughout the series that like she knows what's going on, but now it's kind of like, well, no.
And like I don't, it's gonna be interesting because definitely that's what Mobius is gonna deal with.
Right.
While Sylvie and Loki deal with whatever the actual timekeepers are.
Yeah.
Which at this point I honestly don't know. Like it might be Kang, it might be like a character we know, it might be Mobius for all I know, but
yeah, I really have no.
I definitely want one thing in the finale. I want to see Owen Wilson on a jet ski. I just want to see that.
Mobius on a jet ski.
Yeah.
I want that to be my wallpaper for everything.
There's fan art. Have you seen it?
No. Why would I have just seen that? Like, why would I have just randomly?
It was just on Instagram. It was really. It warmed my soul. Your mom. Here, hold this.
Well, okay. But yeah, I mean, we've said every episode that we've been enjoying the series, and I mean, we've made that pretty clear.
Yeah, pretty much the only dip in quality is probably the third one, even though like it wasn't that much of a dip.
Yeah, I mean, the third episode was just a lot more about like establishing like character and like establishing development, which is fine. You need those in series sometimes, but like it feels pretty filler in like a 6-episode series. Which like yeah, I mean, episode 1 I really enjoyed. Episode 2 was pretty. Yes, episode 2 was pretty good.
Wow.
But it like wasn't as good as episode 1, I don't think. And then 3 was a big dip, and then 4 and 5 have been great. I'm excited to see episode 6, and then yeah, we'll give like a whole like series summary next time for sure.
Definitely the best show, which I think we said every week.
Yeah.
Not like ever, but like what Marvel's been doing so far.
I think it's
a lot more like focused than WandaVision was if it's like mystery plot, and you know it's a lot more weird and different than what like Falcon and Winter Soldier had, which is much more like a typical action.
Right.
Narrative story.
It's done a great job pulling away from those other ones as like its own thing, and like also being foundationally important for the MCU.
And it really it made me like actually like want to see more Loki because like after Infinity War I thought the character was pretty much done. Yeah. Except I don't know, maybe in another Thor movie could do something, but like it seems pretty much over. Yeah. But yeah. Definitely I'm check it out. Have you seen the last 4? I don't know why you wouldn't. But if for some reason you're like, I don't know, man.
No, but it is really great.
Also, it's cool because like this whole shot here, that was like the end of episode 4.
Yeah.
It was actually a direct mirror of like that Avengers ending shot. I don't know if you noticed that, but like.
I thought about that when I first saw it.
Also, they say glorious purpose like every episode, and like it's just like it's become Loki's like catchphrase.
Yeah, the whole glorious purpose thing. It's like wow.
It was like one line in Avengers from like almost 10 years ago at this point.
Yeah, 9 years ago, which is insane. Avengers was 9 years ago.
If you told me the show's coming out, like Avengers came out, like, oh yeah, this villain's gonna get like a whole show dedicated where you're gonna see like him turn to alligator.
Well, that wouldn't make sense, especially not with like the rest of the MCU not there at the time.
Yeah. We haven't seen Thor 2 yet.
Thank God.
Yeah. And he does mention, like, a lot of stuff about his past as well in this one. Like, Lily says, like, I failed everybody I know.
Right. He's failed everybody he knows. He's betrayed everybody who he's cared about and all that stuff, and it's like... But yeah. That's how I felt about Loki so far. But, I think we should probably transition over to... I mean...
Don't do Rick and Morty or Quiet Place first.
We can do A Quiet Place.
Alright, give me one. We can start talking about it. But...
Because, I know it's been a little bit since it's been released by now, but,
Well, what are your thoughts on the first one?
Yeah, A Quiet Place, the original, I think it was a really strong film, especially with the first time that, like,
John Krasinski. I think that's his first...
It's his first true film where he took, like, the entire reins of it, and I think he did a really good job with it, and Tommy, stop.
Well, it's really surprising because, you know, we talked about this earlier with Danny McBride and Dave Gordon Green, like, all these, like, very... like known comedic actors.
Right, they're known for comedy and like what they do in the world of comedy. But they actually, when they expand out to like different genres that they actually are passionate about, specifically horror, at least with a few of these.
Yeah, like I enjoyed the first one quite a bit. I didn't love it or anything. Definitely better than Bird Box, but
way better than Bird Box.
Yeah. I didn't like love it, but I was definitely like interested in what the sequel had. At first, I was like, "This is kind of unnecessary," because like the first one kind of felt like a one thing.
Yeah, the first one, I remember watching it, and I thought.
I really loved how well like they literally picked up right where the first one was.
Right.
And like they really answered a lot of questions that were lingering. Like there was that whole thing in the first one, where, like you saw like the fire in the distance, and then like we really see the character that was doing that.
Right.
And like they have actual good character development and reason for why, you know, like we never saw him in the first one.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like, you know, like the story was always planned out.
Right. I mean, I think Krasinski did a great job coming up with the first one. Like, really interesting world building. He did a great job with it. He created a really fun world that was really good. And the first film overall, I really enjoyed. I liked the whole, like, I mean, like, people, like, I mean, like, the non-dialogue kind of gimmicky, but, like, that's kind of the whole, like, that's kind of the point of it. And
yeah, there was that great...
It's executed really well.
Because, like, I don't remember the daughter's name, but, you know, the one that's deaf.
Yeah.
Like, her and the new character, I don't remember his name, but I know the actor is Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
Who's great in this. He's great in pretty much anything he's in. He played Scarecrow in The Dark Knight.
Yep.
And he was actually in all three of those, which is, like, really surprising.
Yeah.
But, there's that whole thing, like, where, like, he can't communicate with her. And, like, she can't really communicate with him. Like, that, like, whole learning and bonding experience of the film was, like, really well done.
They created a good dynamic.
Because it's, like, a good inverse of, like, her relationship with her father in the last one.
Right, yeah, which, a lot of I think we'll expand upon it more in a little bit, but, what my favorite thing about A Quiet Place Part 2 was, like, mirroring, like, the effects of not having the father there anymore, and how he wrote himself in. Basically, he writes that character in, well, without the character actually being there, and it has a lot of, like, different types of effects, and it's done really well narrative-wise throughout the film.
And, yeah, he's technically in it in the beginning. Which was, like, really well done. That was a really good...
Right. A lot of times, like, there's, like, a sequel that, like, gives you, like, backstory, and it's like, is this really necessary? But, like, it actually it's well-directed, it's well done, it actually it flows really properly, I think. And I think it was a great way to start it out.
Yeah. This one's pretty tense and suspenseful, almost more than the first one. Which is surprising, because, like, usually after the first one, it's hard to, like, keep, like, that same, like, tension. Right. Which is, like, why a lot of franchises kind of veer off, like, with Aliens. Yeah. Which is still, like, a horror, but, like, it's very much, like, it knows what you're seeing. Right. So it doesn't hide it.
Yep. That's what makes Aliens so great. And this is definitely one of the best, like, sequels I've seen in recent memory. I think in some ways it definitely did improve upon the first one. Like, I think in some aspects, like, with that tension and with those different things, it's almost more impressive in this one because it's a sequel. And some, like narrative-wise, I was really impressed by this. Krasinski did a great job, like I said, with the first one, and then being able to actually put together a strong sequel that, like, not only continues the world well, and also stands alone as, like, a pretty good, like, narrative on its own. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I think part of the reason why it might even be better directed is because maybe, you know, in the first one, he also had to act. And it was also his first time.
Right, yeah. So it was probably, like, that's definitely a lot for, like, a first time, like, a true director.
Especially being basically the main character.
Yeah.
And just the film itself, doing that first one must have been really hard, because it's, like, a film where, like, literally, like, nobody's done that before.
Yeah. It was it was pretty like groundbreaking overall.
And like it really avoids some like common tropes pretty well. Like all the characters pretty much have a purpose, even though some of them are kind of like the little boy is kind of he's always been iffy with me, but at the end of this one I'm very much more for him.
Yeah.
But you know, just having him with that bear trap the whole time was just kind of like I don't know, it was kind of weird.
Right.
It felt pretty sudden and unnecessary, but like when it happened, it was actually like really well done.
Right. That was a good scene.
And then the baby, which is like I thought it's gonna be like that dumb thing, but like the baby just kind of bogs down the story and just kind of like it feels like a constant like like a roadblock in the story, like how a lot of series do that and they introduce like a new child. Like a recent example is like F9, where like they have the whole new kid in the last movie, and then this one he's just kind of like write him out completely. This one they at least like keep the baby a part of the story, and like it's not like it feels like a natural continuation, not like just like a constant like we just have to keep this in here.
It does feel like a natural progression, and the entire film feels like a natural stepping stone going forward from the original, with all the characters. I mean, what's great, Emily Blunt does a good job because she's trying to portray like she still has to be like that strong mother right now. She has to protect her family, and she has to figure out what to do and be on her toes. But like she also just lost her husband, and it's like.
There's that really good shot where she goes back to like the house and then like at the cross like where they buried their like younger son before they had the baby.
Right.
She like leaves her wedding ring behind. Like that's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
And you know it's something like I didn't know I needed to see.
Yeah.
And
it's one of those things that just like it's a really strong moment in the like actual like the family aspect here, and does a great job from that.
Yeah, and then they didn't really do anything new with the creatures this time. I didn't know if they were gonna do that, like introduce like a new variant, or like maybe like a queen or something like that. They didn't do that.
I didn't really expect them to, which
I thought they might have, but like, cause I guess like a final twist, but they didn't. And like, they really keep on that whole like they know how to defeat the creatures, but it's still like it's really hard to do.
Right, and it's cool that they like added on like new like things about it. Like there's these people that are fine on an island because they can't swim.
That's actually really good because like when you first see that, like you see them go in the water, like literally like audibly in the theater, I was like, oh shit, they can swim.
Yeah.
But like then they show that they can't.
Right.
Which makes sense, and then like living on islands is really like the perfect place to live on.
Yep.
But of course, one does get on there, which it shows that it's still you're not 100% safe.
Right, it shows that you're not safe. I mean, it was kind of like a little like clunky, like the boat that was there. I guess now.
I thought at first they were gonna like have it be like connected to a sewer and like they'd gone through the sewer.
That's what I thought so too, but then it was like no.
Because I thought that might make sense more.
Yeah. Possibly, yeah. I'm not sure exactly how sewer lines work and like how.
And I'm assuming. Because the ending was pretty abrupt, like even more abrupt than the first one.
Yeah,
which is the biggest criticism I have, but it really isn't that much of a criticism. It's just like, it makes me want more, which is a good thing.
Right, yeah, the ending was very sudden. It was much more abrupt than even the first one.
Because I knew this was like an hour and a half, but like...
Right. The first one had an abrupt ending, and this one did as well. I'm actually a really big fan of the ending itself, just like the like...
And the clear, like, symbolism.
Right, the incredible, like, the clear symbolism and, like, a great... I don't know necessarily a conclusion, because I don't know if they're going to continue this story, but if it is a conclusion or whether or not it's a great, like, rounding out of the arc of both of the kids as it connects to their fathers, like that, like I said, the death of the father echoes throughout this entire movie. And it's just really great to see both of them hit that stride where they can, like, resonating the death of their father, but also, like, in memory of them, like the son is like protecting the mom and the kid, and then the girl is with the guy that like was kind of like the father stand-in / inverse in this movie.
I really loved his character.
Yeah, he did a great job, and just seeing that it was a really powerful ending, especially with the score was well composed in that moment, and it was well shot.
It was really well composed for both these movies.
Yeah, the composition was incredible both times. Honestly, I think these are both incredible films. They're not like the best of the best out there.
Very good, like double feature.
Yes, incredible job. I don't know which one I like more. I still haven't really decided because in some ways I think it's two. It looks better. I think visually it's very beautiful, incredible cinematography, great.
And there's a lot less setup. It just kind of gets right into it.
Right,
but like the setup was also really well done in the first one.
But the first one had great setup, and I think like overall having the father character there, like they both feel kind of clunky. They're not great at pacing. Like obviously the abrupt ending, like that's kind of an issue, and that's really my biggest criticism with them is the pacing isn't the best. But other than that, I think they're both really strong.
Yeah, I don't know if I want a lot of sequels of this. They're kind of setting up a little universe of this because I know there's a spin-off that's definitely happening.
Right.
Which could be interesting, and I feel like the most interesting thing you could do with that is like a prequel about the military's response.
Yeah.
That could be very interesting. And
we were talking about that. I think that could be.
And like seeing the military like now in that timeline.
Right, seeing maybe following like a military soldier or like family or something, and like seeing like
that could at least be different enough that would prove that spinoff is like.
Right. I mean, if it's gonna be a spinoff, it definitely I feel like it has to.
Because that's the biggest question mark at this point. It's like, what exactly was their response?
Right.
Because they do say that they failed. So and then I'm pretty sure a third one's at least in the talks. I would assume it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I feel like
just so you have like a nice trilogy.
Yeah, just the way this is going. I mean, especially if Krasinski's involved and like he can actually.
Because like he did write the story for the spinoff.
Right.
So he's still like involved in this heavily.
And like if he can like conclude this with a third installment and actually like have a trilogy, that'd be really cool. I think this could make an incredible trilogy with just like another good third film, because the first two are just it's pretty great. 2 really follows in the footsteps of 1 greatly.
Spiral.
And it improves in some ways, but not every aspect. So
you can buy the steelbook
of Spiral
of this.
I think there is one, right?
The first one, I think. Yeah.
The first one I know for sure, but I think they're making one for the second one. I don't know if I'll get it right away. Maybe sometime, but I've got a lot of other ones.
Yeah, I definitely recommend. A lot of people have seen this already. It's been out for a while. It's July. It came out at the end of May.
Yeah, it's already been out for over a month.
It took me a while to get to this. It's really weird to like actually keep up to date with theater releases again.
Yeah,
because this was supposed to come out like the week after like all the theaters shut down.
Right. Yeah. And then it got like a big delay. It was done for a while, so that happened with a lot of films coming out this year. They've just been ready for a long time. So
yeah, because I know F9 was also supposed to come out like the month after.
Yeah.
So these movies have been done for like over a year, and like now they're finally doing like all this stuff for it. It's really weird.
Right. But overall, I really enjoyed A Quiet Place Part 2. I gave it an 8 out of 10, I think, which it's like a 7-8 range.
Yeah, probably like a 7.5, 8 at most.
Yeah, 8's definitely the highest. I just gave it the benefit of the doubt as a sequel because like it really floored me. Because most sequels I just don't find impressive, and this I think it did an incredible job. I definitely would encourage a third one with Krasinski's involvement if
he has a good story.
If he has a good idea in mind. If he doesn't,
it was really weird when this film was like being made because he kept saying like it wasn't really like a traditional sequel and like it was just like another chapter in the book, and I was like, well, it's still called Part 2. Yeah, it still continues on right where the last one left off.
Yeah, I mean,
I get it, you're an artist, but just admit it.
Yeah, Krasinski's kind of a weird guy, but I've always enjoyed him as a comedian, and like we were saying, it's really
also weird that like
it's crazy to see him like
he's married to Emily Blunt. Like this is kind of like their whole series here.
Yeah.
Yeah. How they got together is also really weird.
I haven't heard the story.
Yeah, I think he was like into her because he found out about her as an actress, and he kind of just kept like trying to get her to date, and then she's like, okay, fine, and then they got married. Felt.
Overall, yeah, I mean, I think their chemistry in the first one is great because of that, and then
because they're actually married, so they play married.
I gotta say, from both first and second, it's pretty strong, like child acting compared to most. I mean, I like how the girl, how
I'm pretty sure she's actually deaf.
She is an actual deaf actress,
which they're doing a lot more now.
That helps with a lot more authenticity with the deaf character. Plus, that was an incredible addition. I remember watching the first one having the deaf character, and I was like, that's actually amazing.
And they also did that with Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is like really cool that they're actually doing that.
Right. And with A Quiet Place, the way that the whole point is that it's supposed to be like you're supposed to be quiet, you can't make noise. Like a deaf character is like a really interesting way to put it in there. It adds a cool dynamic with the rest of the family that can hear anyway. And
yeah.
It's just I thought that was.
There's also that weird inclusion of like human villains at like that boat dock, which is like it was kind of cool to see that, but it's also like they're literally like if you make noise, they're dead. So like, what's the point of having human villains?
Yeah, it was cool, and it did add tension, obviously, and it did help with the growth of those two characters that were there, the girl and then the guy. But it was like, why it doesn't it? I understand that it's supposed to keep the narrative going along, but it was fine.
There's a lot of smart stuff in this movie. I remember I really liked how he used like the one sign he knew that we saw at the very beginning.
Right, like
that was cool.
Like when he did the dive thing, that was I thought that was a good like way to keep the character.
And, like how they found out the coordinates like through the radio is actually really smart.
Yeah. Yeah, all of that was all of that. It seems like pretty much everything remains relevant, and that's what I think is important. I just, like I said earlier, I think it's a bit more clunky than it should be. Like some of the pacing isn't the best, but I mean that
highly
same
recommend.
thing with both of them.
Yeah.
Highly recommend both, especially if you're a horror fan. The first one I think is great, and this one is a lot more of like a traditional horror film, I think, than the first one.
And there's that whole like little like silo thing they had in there, like they're letting stay in for a certain time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, we're talking about a lot of good stuff this week.
That's
So,
true. Yeah, a lot of good.
Fast Nine.
Last week was F9, and we were able to just have a little bit more fun, like not talking about good.
Yeah. For now, Dojo.
Such an obscure reference. No
I forgot that was in that movie.
Yeah, me too. I completely forgot about that.
Just,
I guarantee anybody that would even be listening to this, which would be very few, I've never seen Gamera Super Monster, so
Tommy has.
unfortunately for him. But anyway, also one more thing I wanted to say, because in the first and second one, the way like with like the deaf girl, how like when it's her perspective, it like muffles out the sound.
Yeah, it's really
and then
good.
when other people, like the way they transition through it, it actually feels pretty fluid, and then it's really good.
It also points out like they can't like understand words, just at the mouth like enunciate. Like, it seems like a lot of movies they just don't do that.
Right. It's been a really good at theatrical decisioning, like thematically, really good. It's just overall they're really strong films. I really can't complain too much about them. They're enjoyable and they do what they can well. So
Can name well.
But yeah, that's all I have to say about A Quiet Place 1 and 2.
Yeah, definitely like an 8 out of 10. Probably 7.5.
Yeah.
Definitely recommend. Really good theater film.
Yeah, incredible for the theater. Like that was like one of the trailer like gimmicks. It was like, oh yeah, a film that was made to be experienced in the theater. That's why it was.
It's probably really good in IMAX.
I bet it was. Yeah, I haven't seen an IMAX film in a long time, so.
We don't have an IMAX.
Yeah, I know.
Snyder Cut IMAX.
I couldn't do it.
Black and white.
There would have to be like 2 intermissions.
They're gonna say like
if it's black and white, 3. I need 3. Intermissions.
And like a lot of alcohol.
Great. I couldn't. No. I'm sorry. I'm not getting this deal with either.
Why not?
Because it's 4 hours.
Well, do you want to switch to the next topic?
Yeah, I mean, we can start talking about Rick and Morty. So, any Rick and Morty fans?
We talked about like the season 5 like before it came out, so we haven't actually talked about the season so far.
Right, which there have been 3 episodes, and I've enjoyed all 3 of them. They've all felt like different types of Rick and Morty episodes we've seen before. Sometimes amplified versions, other times not so much. But I think they've all been really enjoyable. Especially the most recent episode. But we can probably start with the season premiere, which Rick Dinner Mort Andre, pretty sure is the name of it.
Mr. Nimbus.
Which, can I just say, the title Rick Dinner Mort Andre, they're really stretching for references that include Rick and Morty in the name.
Yeah.
Like, they're really stretching.
Well, the second episode had a good one. What was it, Mortyplicity?
Yeah, Mortyplicity Down's pretty good, and then a Rick Convenient Mort is a lot better than the first episode of the season. But the episode itself was really interesting. With the beginning of it,
They also uploaded it all on YouTube.
Yeah, it's all on YouTube, which is crazy. You can just go watch the first episode of the season, which is weird. They haven't done that with 2 or 3, but also on Adult Swim has also uploaded the cold open to each episode like a few days before airing, which I don't know why. I mean, it's cool. It's fine. I just don't know why they're doing that. But yeah, the first episode of season 5, I really enjoyed it. I liked a lot of the narrative choices. I like how they were letting Morty really take the reins in his story. At the beginning, the whole thing with like how he's actually saving Rick. He's 14.
And?
Well, it's implied that he might. I don't know.
He's
in the latest one.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter, but like it's a.
Most kids are like pregnant these days.
Aren't you 18?
I said most kids. I didn't say us.
Well, anyway, the first episode is talking about the narrative of it.
I'm getting married soon. I'll still be
5 years.
Anyway, I like how more recently in the show they've like, because early on it was like Rick, the smartest man in the universe, and how he was like basically a god because of that. I like how actually seeing him be vulnerable, and it like helps a lot like with the character growth, and seeing him need to be saved by whoever it is, specifically Morty, especially that helps with Morty's character growth as the inverse of Rick. They've always been good foils for each other, I think. And in this first episode, Morty saves Rick. My apologies. And then
there's a later reference. And
then we get and then we get introduced to Mr. Nimbus, and Mr. Nimbus is a fun character. I think there was a lot to do with that dynamic between Rick and Mr. Nimbus, but it was cool seeing Morty actually have his own episode, and then they let Rick kind of take a backseat with his storyline. They've done that in the first and third episodes. honestly, there's a lot to it. They had
yeah.
they did everything Rick and Morty does well. They had fun with sci-fi concepts, like that whole concept of him going into the door to get the wine, how it ages so long, and like the guy goes in with him, then he goes back, and like his kid's been born for like 50 years.
It took 50 years to be born.
No, he's like 50 years older, and he's like killing his dad. Yeah, I know. Like Rick and Morty's a pretty smart show. It's hard to understand, but yeah, episode 1 was really good. It's been kind of weird that they're giving Rick a lot more like the B plots.
Right. Yeah.
Like the Mr. Nimbus character was really cool, and like it shows exactly how Rick would like react if he had like an arch nemesis. Like,
right.
you can't just give him like a traditional type of thing like
right,
that.
just like a weird guy.
They also imply a lot of history with them. That's really interesting.
And which is also important to Rick's character, because we've seen a lot of things in the past about about what actually happened in Rick's backstory, and like it's been implied, but the whole like simulations and stuff at the beginning of season 3, and how he was like, oh, a completely fabricated origin story, but like how some of that had to be drawn from like actual experience that he's had. Then even Mr. Nimbus says it, like
He brings up his
how Rick's character
wife.
is.
Yeah.
How he's like, I used to fear you, I respected you. And how it's like, you see like how Rick, as we have viewed him in the earlier seasons as just this like extremely powerful guy, but how like actually from like an emotional standpoint he's fallen very far.
Bold.
And then
Say something funny.
and then the inverse of that is where you see Morty
Bald.
continue to grow. And not only that, but the whole family, the whole point of Marty's
Who's Marty?
who's is Marty? The whole point of Rick and Morty
Who's this Marty?
is that it's a show about this family. No matter like
It's a
not all
cartoon.
the
Yeah,
characters.
dude, I love Marty McFly.
Not all the characters are as prominent
Family.
as some of the others.
Reference didn't come on.
Not all the characters are as prominent as some of the others,
What are
but
you gonna talk about?
it's great to see like all of them get a front row seat. Sometimes we see Summer's development, Beth and Jerry's development.
Beth and Jared just trying to have sex the whole episode.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. That was like the C plot. It's like what is happening with that. But then everything also with Morty and Jessica, the whole like
That ended pretty suddenly, but like it was pretty well done. It was cool to see him like at least get something.
right.
Yeah.
I think the whole like Jessica's monologue at the end of the episode is kind of a representation of all of like what Rick and Morty's supposed to be. It's like, oh, are we just like watching, like, are we just another character in the story as it goes by? It really represents Jessica's character. So
Jessica was that girl that like, Morty's been trying to get with like for the last 4 seasons.
Oh,
He gets with her for one
every
episode,
makes sense.
and she leaves.
yeah, and it's like, and then he's like, oh, I'm trying to get one for my girlfriend, and Rick's like, girlfriend? He's like, well, I mean, it's not official.
We kissed.
And then at the end, she's like, I think we should just be friends. And he's like, oh, okay.
Episode where like they had that death crystal and like he just followed what it said to end up with her.
That
Yeah.
was a messed up ending.
It really was.
Yeah, that was a crazy episode. But the first episode had a lot of fun with sci-fi. It was a good introduction. They did a good job with it. Like what they did with Morty's character and with Rick's character. It shows that they continue to strike the emotional beats.
Yeah, it was a really good first episode. Yeah, I really liked the second one as well. It had a really good plot.
Yeah, I like the second one. The second episode is a lot like
What?
Should you say so little?
It's just Rick and Morty.
it's one of those it's like one of those traditional Rick and Morty episodes where they just have like a weird sci-fi thing going on and it's confusing the whole time. And
It
it's
really
like, what's
is.
going on?
Yeah, it was really cool to like see. Well, it was really messed up. It was really dark. The season's been really dark so far, by the way.
It's been extremely dark, like hardcore.
Like there's really scenes where like Jerry sees his family die in front of him while he's like dismembered, and then they just shoot him in the head.
Episode 2 was wild.
Yeah, because like Rick makes a bunch of clones of the
What is the
family.
song, by the way?
What?
Where are you guys seeing Rick and Morty?
I watch it as it airs on
Did
Adult
you
Swim.
tell people that?
Well, people should know.
Well, I mean, it airs on Adult Swim, but that's the only way to watch it right away unless you buy it on Amazon Prime.
Did you buy it on Amazon Prime?
Yeah,
He's done the first 2, or the second and third episode, but the first episode's all on YouTube, so,
you can just kind of watch it.
yeah.
Episode 4 Sunday, but
I'm excited for episode 4.
second episode was like it was really there was a lot of weird dark stuff like that one scene where like they go into like that one. I don't remember which like version it was, but like they were all like weird mutated ones, where they're like skinning
Yeah.
each other, and it was really fucked up.
Yeah.
And then like eventually like they just have like a giant brawl with like every single version.
Right, which they all came together, and then, like, there's one...
And it's really funny because at the end it's just like, oh yeah, the real Rick would just kind of go out into space for a little bit and then come back, and it's just like, oh yeah, we saw Space Beth for a minute. That's all you're gonna see.
Right.
Yeah.
Was like the entire episode, you're like, wait, who's the real... Like, when are we done with the decoys, and who's the actual family? Like, what... It's like, oh, decoy family. Oh, decoy family. Oh, decoy family. It's like, when... Rick and Morty does that a lot, just like these episodes where, like, it keeps, like, with the, like, twists a lot.
But this one doesn't really have a lot of story. moving forward. It's just like a very niche episode.
Yeah, traditional, just fun Rick and Morty episode, like a lot of like seasons 1 and 2 were.
Yeah.
But then we get episode 3, and episode 3 was
Planetina. That was a very
hardcore.
Yeah, for Morty, it literally like portrayed teen romance and eventual breakups extremely well.
It did it perfectly,
Yeah.
and it was fantastic.
Yeah, Morty gets with another girl. They have this whole relationship. They really have together, but then she turns out
kind of a player, dog.
she turns out to be like a cold-blooded murderer, and he breaks up with her.
Oh, you mean like that Purge chick?
Who?
Remember from the Purge episode?
Yeah, but she was kind of good in the
Well,
end.
actually, she like rejected him kind of. It was like old because she was like, "Oh, well, yeah."
He's like, you have to listen to my story. It's like a terrible story.
The one, like Adventure Park and the guy's stomach chick.
Anatomy Park.
Morty's kind of been with a lot of women.
I mean, yeah, but never actually goes anywhere, and that's been like kind of like a gripe. It's like they keep going, but like this Morty ends up with a girl, and then like, oh, sorry, no.
I need like some story progression there at some point. It's getting like a little annoying.
Right, some like actual character growth with
He
Morty
needs to
himself.
have a sex.
Or just stay single.
Why is that such a? Just because you're down bad doesn't mean you have to keep like bringing that up.
True.
That's not foundationally important for any character.
When are Sylvie and Loki gonna?
Oh.
What was that?
But episode 3 was it's really dark. It's really hardcore.
So are you.
There was a really good insight by another YouTuber, Johnny Tuccello's. Like literally, we see Beth's like.
Yeah, we got to shout out Johnny Tuccello's because his video on it's like an 8-minute video. You should definitely go check it out because it's fantastic.
Yeah, he has that really good insight at the end about Beth actually being like a good mother, which is like really weird for the show.
Right, it's weird like because Beth has always been portrayed as like she doesn't actually
Also,
act to the best.
Beth and
way as a
Jerry's
mother.
relationship's been portrayed in a lot more better light this season. Like they
Yes.
seem like a much more stronger couple.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's great to actually see
I know
that.
that spa one where they create each other's monsters.
Yeah, like you literally should not be together. This should not be allowed by the universe.
It was so toxic it worked. It doesn't make sense.
Which luckily
We don't feel this.
we actually see growth in their marriage. But yeah, Beth has always been like.
It went red.
Oop. But yeah, Beth was
Yeah,
like.
watch it. Watch it.
Shut up.
But anyways,
Subject.
Beth, she's always been like she doesn't always make the right decisions. She tries, but she doesn't always succeed as a mother. But like in this episode, she's just trying to protect Morty, and then even at the end, she doesn't pull a Beth like "I told you so" or like "Oh, like I told you this was gonna happen," but she's actually caring toward him and like she helps him out because like it's really heartbreaking.
Yeah, and the whole Planetina thing was like a clear like Captain Planet thing.
Yeah,
And seeing like the whole kids that like control her, just be like these nasty people that just kind of like profit off her was actually pretty funny and pretty cool.
It was funny the way she was like, "Yeah, they've been materializing me since the '90s. They've grown up since."
Yeah, and like they're just like a bunch of assholes, and then Morty just straight up murders them and steals all like their power rings.
Yeah.
And just
he
fucking
literally
murders
just
them.
commits murder, and I thought that was gonna cause conflict with him, and she was like, "Oh, now I'm free."
Yeah, but then like she murders like 300 people, and she's like, "Well, you killed these 3 people that are like mean to me."
And then he's like, "Yeah, but that was like to save you, and you're like just straight up killing people." She's like, "This is how I'm gonna save the planet," and he's like, "And if that has to be true, then I'm sorry, I can't love you." And it's like, it's one of those types of progressions where like it isn't falling out of love; it's more heartbreaking than that because he feels he has to end things, and he does, and it's like, it's gut wrenching. It really is.
You good? Yeah, I have no idea what the next episode either is gonna be. Like, is there even a title yet?
I don't think so, but it's possible. I'm not sure.
What? If it looks like that. A lot of good comedy this season. Also, really good story progression.
I've had
Rick's
like,
definitely like the whole Rick and Summer Pond. This one was really cool because it was like them going to like end of the worlds.
right. I mean, we get this a lot. Like every few episodes, we get
This one was a lot about heartbreaks. So.
yeah. We get Rick and Summer development as their relationship progresses, and we saw that, and also the whole thing with Rick, like them going to different like apocalypses and having fun with it. There was a lot of humor there, but also like we see more of Rick, like he's becoming more and more vulnerable, and we see that in every episode. Maybe not 2 because it wasn't very story driven, but
Yeah, it was just a really good like sci-fi concept episode, which all the seasons have.
right, that happens.
There's some of them that are like
so
really
often.
bad or like just not that good, like the dragon one last season,
Yeah, it's
which
like-
was like it's a fine episode, but like I don't need dragon sex.
But
I remember that one.
Yeah.
episode 3 is probably my favorite of the season so far by a little bit. I've enjoyed all 3 a lot. I just love this
Dragon
show.
Orgy? Yeah, I remember that episode.
What's your
Episode
favorite episode
sucked.
of the show?
No, that's disgusting.
But overall, I just really like this show. I think it's continuing to grow in the right ways, and there's a few other things they probably need to fix up.
But like they have time, and like I'm fine. The season's
They
like
definitely
much
have
more of like a slow transition because they still like 10 seasons like for sure have it.
Yeah, because they still are going to be good through 10 seasons because of the 70 episode renewal. So
Yeah. As long as they stick to the 10 episode a season stuff, which I don't really see them changing.
right.
It's a nice number.
Yeah, except like it's just really annoying because the first season was 11.
Yeah, it's really
so it's always like one off every year, or every season they do it.
It's like BoJack.
It's frustrating. BoJack, what do you mean?
Because they have that one Christmas episode, and all the ones are 12.
Oh yeah,
and then
but
16.
like there's 76 episodes besides that, because I guess that's true though. But yeah, I mean, I've really enjoyed the season so far. I think that it looks like it's gonna have a really good overall arc. I think, especially with episode 3, kind of showed that.
Yeah, and then by the time we talk about it next podcast, we'll at least be halfway through, I believe.
Yeah.
So we'll at least know like what the half season's looking like.
Right, we'll know exactly what's going on, and then also with episode 3, like it felt like really quick. Like the episode went by fast,
Which is a good thing, because you're enjoying yourself.
which is good. Which I really enjoyed it. I just think it was really well done. It's great writing, and it's fun animation. It's funny, and it's dramatically pleasing. So,
And like it's been pretty well because like the high concept ones are really fun and interesting, and like that's what you come for the show for. Actually, I love to do one, but a lot of episodes like where I get really emotional and leave you on like this emotional stinger really stick better. Like all the ones where Rick, like that one where Rick like almost kills himself, is really strong. And then
I like the toilet one.
Old Man in the Sea one, yeah, the toilet one was really good too.
Fantastic episode.
Absolutely fantastic, especially the ending, and like just hopefully they have more episodes like that where they progress the story, really like dive into these characters better.
Right.
Especially Summer, like I don't know what's going on with Summer yet.
Yeah, Summer's like a weird character where like they're showing her development, but it's like it's always stunted. It seems like, so I don't know what they're
Also
gonna do with
Jerry.
her. And Jerry's like I'm seeing.
Who really cares about Jerry?
We're seeing growth from Jerry though, which is good.
Wasn't he the character that like you were supposed to not care about?
I mean, at first he was like kind of like a punching bag type character for a while, but like
He was just like a piece of shit
especially
dad.
with he and Beth like together, like there's been a lot of growth there. So
Definitely in the third season, he was just like a punchy bag the whole time.
I just really like this show. I mean, I'm always gonna be excited for new episodes. I think it's fantastic. I just really enjoy it so much. I enjoy it so much. I don't even know what else to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoy the show as well. Probably not as much as you. I definitely know it's like one of the better shows like in recent memory. One of the best like animated ones as well. I'm surprised at how fresh and still how entertaining it is after 5 seasons, and it's been close to 10 years since the show started.
Yeah, which is insane. Like
And like
2013.
the same few
that feels so long ago.
the same few creators are still around, and they're still putting fresh content out.
Right, it still feels fresh after all these years and these over 40 episodes, and like I think it's very impressive. I think they've done a lot of impressive stuff throughout really the entire series. There's only like a few episodes that I really don't like, and like
A lot of them are early seasons.
season 5 looks like it's going to continue to impress. I think it's going to be
The
fun to watch.
pilot was the best episode.
Pilot was the worst one.
Exactly.
It's going to be fun to see the rest of season 5.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's probably about all I had to say. Definitely check it out.
Yeah, for sure. Check out season 5 however you can. I mean,
Pirate it.
It's not easy to watch like right
I
away.
wouldn't promote that.
But
Pirate it.
Eventually, Hulu and HBO Max will both have all of
Pirate
season
it.
5.
Probably
It'll
when I'll
just
watch
take
season
shit-
5.
It'll just take a while.
Yeah.
When else is season 5? It's when he puts on Hulu.
Yeah.
Are you all caught up?
I've watched all of season 4 yet.
You watched previous 3 seasons as well.
He said all through season 4.
Oh, they just watched all of season 4.
Why did I just watch season 4?
I don't know, Tommy.
1 through 3.
I don't know, Tommy. It don't make sense.
We watched season 1 through 3 with him, like here,
Did we?
at sleepover.
He was asleep.
I thought that was
for
a
parts
better
of
We
it.
saw some of it, but that was a different time.
No, this is when Sean
Anyway.
stayed up the whole night. It was like a few years ago.
Oh, I fell asleep. Yeah, I didn't watch that.
Sean's the only one that stayed up.
Thank you.
How much did that peak? Sneeze again.
No. Anyway, if you enjoyed, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for more. You hit the bell to actually get notified. Be sure to like and leave your comment, your thoughts. Comment your thoughts on Loki, Quiet Place Part 2, Rick and Morty. Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
I said that.
Oh, you did? Hit that notification bell.
I said that as
Did you
well.
say comment?
Join our Patreon.
Comment good thoughts.
Join our Patreon.
We don't have a Patreon.
Give us some money a month.
Comment.
We don't have it.
Comment on things that you want to do next.
I already said comment. Yeah. Leave suggestions because we try to keep it fresh. There's not that many movies to talk about right now, but hopefully as more start to release, we're probably eventually going to start talking about more like retro things, like things from like some older films.
Camera.
Absolutely.
I don't know how many views the Gamera videos will get, but we'll see.
Could be interesting.
That's true.
If you really hype it up.
But anyways, yeah, I think that's all we got. You have any closing thoughts?
Yeah.
If you do, go ahead.
Like and comment.
Yeah. We already. We're not just gonna. This is getting repetitive. All right.
Yeah, definitely check us out next few weeks. We'll be getting some interesting stuff pulled up.
Yeah, we'll be gone next week, but after that, we're gonna continue with more engaging discussion.
You guys gotta really work on your conclusion.
Yeah, we don't have a very good outro. Anyways, see you guys in a couple weeks.
Bye bye.
Boy.